Playing record time. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Well, I'm on my way to pick up my little ones this evening. Miss Jackie's working, and so I had some thoughts of sitting here by myself. Radio sounded like crap, so I was with my thoughts, and so I thought, well, that might be something worth sharing. So, anyway, something I noticed the last few days, and a great person that I listen to, his name is Quantum of Consciousness, here on YouTube. His name is Matt. Excellent guy for big thinking, like outside the box thinking. Like, he's got to get them gears rolling. But the reason I like Matt is because what seems to happen is that him and I and others that are just kind of like all of us, we kind of tend to get the same kind of thoughts going on without even having to speak to each other. It's just something I've noticed lately, is that we're all sharing a lot of the same thoughts. This is not something I've heard very many people talk about, but matter of fact, I don't think I have. But anyway, has anybody else noticed this? Like, you're having these thoughts, and you're thinking about things, and you have a thought about something, and then the next day you're not even looking for it, but you're listening to somebody, or you're watching a video or whatever, and they're having those same thoughts. And the one that stuck out for me was people's frequency, like how you don't hear them or they don't hear you, how we raise up in this vibration of things. And anyway, Matt's one, he mentioned something about that, about not resonating with those around us as we grow higher in this. And then Michael from our Everyday Living, I believe, here's another one today that was speaking on that same kind of thing about people hearing you. And I've spoken to Jackie about this before, and it's like the whole penis teacher thing, that wah 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 wah. And it happens to people that we're even close to, that, like with me and Jackie, it happens to us every now and again, where there's days where we just don't understand each other at all. And it's not a matter of we don't understand the words that are coming out of their mouth. It's a matter of fact, it doesn't matter what either one of us say on those days. It's just not getting through. It's just not being processed. And take that to a different scale of things with the people every day that we have to deal with who are not awake to things. There's times where we absolutely have no idea what the fuck they're saying. You're like, huh? What did you say? And then there's times that there's people around us who, through this walk of things, where you don't hear the things they say, and they don't hear you. That's where I'm going with that. Is it more so than anything is the fact that they don't hear you. They don't hear the things that you say. You try to tell them something interesting or whatever, and you can just watch it. They just shut down. They just glaze over and shut down, and they have no idea what you're saying. A perfect example of this was just the other day. We had our Thanksgiving, and in our living room we have what's called a Merkaba, and it's an 8-sided like little room, and it's an octagon. But the way this one's laid out specifically is that each one of you can divvy it up into a pie of 8 pieces. So I was explaining about this, and I was explaining how that I discovered that, and I don't know if this has just been built this way or what, but I discovered that when you're standing in that Merkaba and you hold a compass, magnetic north, you can find north, south, east, and west, and there's a window or a slice of the pie, basically, in this Merkaba that shows you the directions: north, south, east, and west, northeast, southeast, southwest, and northwest, southeast, northeast, anyway, whatever the other ones are in between. It has all of those. So anyway, I was explaining that to my family, and how then I took flooring and I made a compass, basically, or not really, it's more like a little pie, a sliced up pie. But for the main cardinal directions, I used a darker wood, and then for the in-between directions, I use a lighter wood. And so I created basically a compass on the floor. And then in the middle, I'm going to pour an epoxy resin centerpiece like you would have on a compass. You know, the centerpiece. Well, anyway, and then in that is going to have the stones from our travels to the different vortices of this world. Just to create our own point, tying us to all those other things. And just as a remembrance and an honor to these different places. So as I'm telling this story about all this and explaining all this, those that were listening to me, I look up and nobody is listening to me. I'm sitting there talking to myself. And so I just stopped talking and walked away to see if anybody noticed. And nobody noticed even. Now, in their defense, a little bit, was the fact that they had football on. And the counter of it, it made me notice, what I was saying had it shut their listening factors off completely. And I was trying to give them something that was, you know, it's not really useful, but yeah, in my opinion, is a little bit interesting. And others think it is too. And just to give some update, because people think my living room is weird the way I have it laid out, but there is a scheme or a motif to the whole thing. It's not just as a matter of, and besides that, I think outside the box, I'm always trying to do things that aren't what everybody else is doing, like of my own originality versus something I've seen somebody do, and then I try to recreate that same thing that they did. I try to make it my own, to keep my imagination and my creativity flowing and just keep those juices rolling like they're supposed to. So anyway, once I noticed that, then it was like the elephant in the room. I couldn't not notice it. And so then the rest of the day, I'm thinking, I'm just paying attention more to the things that are going on. And I noticed that anytime a conversation was brought up that was outside of the sheeple paradigm of things, then it's an instant, it's like a self-defense mechanism that's built into this brainwashing, that as soon as something that doesn't agree with that programming comes in, there's like this fail-safe switch that creates people's ears to not listen no more. And then people get offended because whoever it is speaking realizes this, that the others aren't really paying attention or listening to the things that somebody is saying. And then it creates this big turmoil of things. Children are naturally good for this. Children are really naturally really good for this because they can be looking right at you and you think that they're listening, but they didn't hear a word you said. Because they're really good at not letting you know that they didn't hear you. By any means possible. My little ones anyway, and that's what I've noticed with other little ones. It's just a natural thing. And this world, I think, takes advantage of us through that. Through the fact that we can be distracted so easily. That whole thing about a goldfish mentality, or a goldfish, attention span of a goldfish. That's so very true with many, many people in this world. It's sad, but it is. So anyway, I guess my main thought here today, in kind of closing, because I don't want to make this too long, is that have you noticed others around you that you speak and they don't seem to resonate with you? They don't seem to pick up on what you're putting down, you know? They don't realize or that they're even doing it. Most of them I don't believe they even realize that they're doing it. They don't catch themselves even doing it. Because it's so ingrained in us to do it that we don't even know we're doing it. And so we could even be doing it ourselves and not even realizing it. So next time you're speaking with somebody or somebody's talking to you, be conscious of the things they're saying, the things that you're saying, and don't let the things around you become a distraction and take you away from them, because they're giving you your energy. They're giving you your energy. They're giving you their time of day. They're giving you attention. So, therefore, in my opinion, and my belief, not just my opinion, is that we should give that person as much attention as they're giving us. If they're taking the time to speak to us, we should take the time to listen, and we should take the time to respond. And that's just one of those little things I think we're missing in this world, is that we're not truthfully and honestly listening to people and the things they say. And we're sometimes shutting them down before we even hear them out. And hey, by doing that, you could be missing out on some really awesome things or something new. So I really would like for everybody to try really hard. And now, don't get me wrong, there's going to be times where it's just going to be near impossible, because of where that person has set themselves in their vibration. There's nothing you're going to say. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to change. All you can do is just plant a seed for later on, that in the hopes that that word that you planted, or those words that you planted in their brain, will help them see the things that they're doing. That's all my videos really are. I'm just planting seeds. I'm trying to be like Johnny Appleseed, and going along and just planting seeds of goodness, and trying to help people wherever they can. This doesn't resonate for everybody. This doesn't help everybody, but it'll help somebody. And that's why I do what I do, is just to try to help. I'm not trying to save the world. I'm just trying to save individuals. I can't save the world, but if we all try to save individuals, then pretty soon everybody's saved, and we're all helping each other, and we don't even realize it. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I love you all. Peace, love, and bubblegum, and I'll be talking to y'all again soon. And have a great and blessed night, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Be thankful for the things you have, for those of you that are in your life, and always remember that there's always something to be thankful for, even if you don't think there is. Just stop and think about it, and you will find something to be thankful for. Anyway, I'll have a good night. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.